For the longest time, I wandered through life feeling as if something was missing. I used to wonder if things could ever get better, if the emptiness inside me would ever be filled. I lived day by day, chasing after things that I thought would bring me happiness, temporary thrills, fleeting pleasures, and distractions that only numbed the pain but never truly erased it. I convinced myself that I was in control, but deep down, I knew I was lost. There were moments when I questioned my very existence. Did my life really matter? Was there any real purpose to it all? I searched for meaning in the wrong places, mistaking indulgence for fulfillment, recklessness for freedom. I used to think that the only way to silence my inner turmoil was to drown it out with noise, to keep myself so busy that I wouldn't have to confront my own reality. But the truth has a way of catching up with you, no matter how hard you try to escape it. I believed the devil's lies. I believed that I wasn't enough, that I had failed too many times to be redeemed. I told myself that God had turned his back on me, that my prayers were useless, that no matter how hard I tried, I would never be worthy of his love. The signs were there all along, subtle, yet persistent. But I ignored them. I chose to believe that I was alone, that the weight of my burdens was mine to carry without help. The more I tried to push forward on my own, the more I sank deeper into despair. I made countless mistakes. I wasted years chasing things that didn't matter, prioritizing the wrong things, and convincing myself that the world owed me something. I searched for happiness in material possessions, in people who didn't truly care for me, in a lifestyle that only pulled me further away from who I was meant to be. I was caught in a cycle of self-destruction, too blind to see the way out. And then, something changed. It wasn't a dramatic, earth-shattering moment. It wasn't a voice from the sky or a blinding light from above. It was something quiet, something so simple that it almost went unnoticed. I found God in my daughter's eyes. In that moment, I saw love in its purest form, unconditional, unwavering, and untainted by the weight of the world. She looked at me with trust, with faith, with a belief in me that I hadn't even had in myself. And that was when I realized that I had never truly been alone. God had been with me all along, waiting for me to see him. It was then that the cracks in my armor began to break open. I started to see the world differently, not as a place that had abandoned me, but as a place where I had a purpose. The same streets I had walked aimlessly before now felt different, as if they were guiding me somewhere new. The burdens that had once felt unbearable suddenly seemed lighter. I had been lost for so long, but now, I had found my faith. And with it, a new path forward. That moment wasn't the end of my struggles, but it was the beginning of something greater. Change didn't happen overnight. Healing wasn't immediate. But for the first time in a long time, I had hope. I had something to hold on to, something to fight for. My faith was no longer just a distant concept, it was real, tangible, something that gave me strength even in my weakest moments. And with that faith, I took my first steps toward a life I had never thought possible. I used to be consumed by darkness, chasing empty dreams that led me nowhere. The world promised happiness through success and fleeting pleasures, but it left me hollow. No matter what I achieved, it was never enough. My soul was weary, and I had lost all sense of direction. But in my darkest hour, drowning in regret, something changed. God reached out when I least expected it. He sent me signs, gentle reminders I had ignored for years. At first, I dismissed them as coincidences, but as I opened my heart, they became clearer. It was in my daughter's eyes that I first saw God's love. In her innocence and trust, I found a love so pure that it awakened something within me. I realized I had been searching for God in all the wrong places when he had been with me all along. The road to redemption wasn't easy. I had to confront my past and face the demons that haunted me. There were moments of doubt when I questioned if I was worthy of his grace. But every time I fell, God lifted me back up. Through prayer, I found strength. Through faith, I found purpose. I no longer chased temporary highs or sought approval from the world. My focus shifted toward becoming a better man, a better father, a better servant of God. Now, my life is no longer defined by my past but by the path I walk today. I wake up each morning with gratitude, knowing I've been given another chance. My story is not one of perfection but of perseverance. The devil still lurks, waiting for a moment of weakness, but I refuse to let him win. My faith is my shield, my prayers are my armor, and God's love is my guiding light. For those who feel lost, who believe redemption is beyond reach, I am proof that it is never too late. No matter how broken you feel or how many mistakes you've made, God is always ready to welcome you back. Let go of the past, embrace the present, and walk into the future He has prepared for you. Faith isn't just about believing, it's about trusting, surrendering, and living in alignment with God's plan. There will always be trials, but I no longer fear them. Every hardship has shaped me, and every tear has watered the seeds of wisdom within me. God's love has transformed me, and He can do the same for anyone who seeks Him. He is always speaking to us in ways we may not immediately recognize. The question isn't whether He is there, but whether we are willing to listen. Open your heart, and you will hear Him. Open your eyes, and you will see His hand in everything. I am no longer the man I used to be, and for that, I am eternally grateful. Faith is a daily commitment. Every morning, I must choose to walk the path of righteousness. Temptations still arise, but I remind myself of where I was and where I am now. I remind myself of the peace I found in God's embrace, a peace the world could never give me. I have learned the power of forgiveness. For years, I held on to resentment, blaming others for my pain. But forgiveness is not for them, it is for me. It frees my heart from bitterness, allowing me to move forward without the weight of old wounds. I pray not just for myself, but for those still searching, still wandering in darkness. I pray that they, too, will open their hearts and find what I have found. Because once you truly encounter God and surrender to Him, everything changes. The struggles don't disappear, but you face them with a new strength, knowing you are never alone. I will never go back to the life I once lived. I will keep growing, keep learning, and keep striving to be better. My faith will not waver, no matter how difficult the road ahead may be. Because I know, beyond any doubt, that I have found my true purpose. I don't want to live any other way. This is the life I was meant to live, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.